Welcome to the Vibrant Visibility Podcast. Being visible as a soul-led business owner isn't just about the practical strategies, marketing tips, and tech systems. It's also about the internal systems, the safety of your nervous system, the somatic connection, and the embodiment of being a badass CEO that will support you in all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And I'm here to share all of that with you on this show. I'm your host, Shawnee Arsenault, a registered nurse turned visibility coach and business mentor for heart-centered coaches and healers. I created a six-figure coaching practice in my first year of business and scaled to multiple six figures my second year, all in the middle of getting pregnant with my first baby and becoming a new mama. If I can do this entrepreneurship thing, I know you can too. If you're ready to learn how to be a CEO in a way that feels aligned with your heart, become a lighthouse for the people that you're meant to serve, feel free to authentically express yourself and be a magnet for success, and grow your coaching business in a way that is sustainable and fulfilling, I can't wait to be in your ear along for the ride. Hello, everybody. So today I'm actually trying something new. I have done, back before I rebranded this podcast to Vibrant Visibility, I did live coaching sessions and published them on the podcast whenever it was aligned and well. And I really loved that. I didn't know, I had always known I wanted to bring that back to Vibrant Visibility, but obviously because of the content of Vibrant Visibility and the theme and kind of like what this new rebranded version of my podcast is all about, I wanted to make sure it was super intentional, like what kind of coaching sessions I was sharing. And so I have been offering to my community these Soulful spotlight sessions where I support somebody through a visibility block. And that could be strategic related, or it could be somatic related. It could be deeper. So it really doesn't matter what the block is. I am meeting these people in my community where they're at. And so I'm going to be sharing my first Soulful Spotlight session with a lovely volunteer with you guys today here on the podcast. This is Jessica. She has been in my world for quite a while. She was my student back whenever I was an instructor for a coaching certification. And yeah, she's just been in my space for a while. And I'm super excited that she volunteered to share her heart here in our recorded Soulful Spotlight session. So I hope that our session sparks some of your own awareness of maybe visibility blocks that you have. And I would love to hear what you are taking away from listening in to our conversation. Did anything come up for you as we were kind of thinking about what is a layer we can peel back?
Yeah, a little bit. I was thinking of how sometimes it's a little bit of I don't know what to say. Like I'd mentioned in judgment a little bit. Yeah, those are kind of the two main things. And also just I think, most of us probably struggle with this, but just afraid to be truly authentic and how that will be
Mhm.
received by people that we know and love.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah, so I heard a couple of different things. I heard clarity, like feeling unclear on what to say,
Hmm.
judgment, and then also like the fear of how people will receive your authenticity. Is there any one of those three that feels the heaviest or like the most potent?
Probably the judgment one. That one was
Mhm.
one I really picked up on recently. And yeah, just to kind of paint a picture, like for example, sometimes I see someone showing up online and my thoughts are, this is going to really expose me a little bit, but
Yeah.
if they don't have a whole lot of followers or they don't seem like they're really successful, my thoughts are like, what makes them think they can do that? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that goes right back on me because yeah, that's how I
Mhm.
am. I don't call myself successful yet. I haven't reached the benchmark that I want to be at yet. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of like, well, if I'm judging people for that, it's like a little hypocritical. You know?
Mm. Yeah. What does that bring up in you? Like whenever you start to identify like, okay, I'm judging someone for the amount of followers that they have or whatever. How does that come back to you?
I mean, it just doesn't feel good. Because at my core, I don't think that's really, I don't feel like that's me to my core. Like I'm a judgy, mean, rude person. I believe in abundance and like everybody can be successful and not at each other's expense, right? Um, But yeah, it does just kinda make me wonder, like, where is that coming from
Mhm.
and why?
Yeah. I'm curious to know, like, what is you to your core? Like, who is that? Not the one who judges or, whatever, but, like, what's underneath that?
Yeah, and I mean, I've thought about this, like, my higher self, right? Like, I believe she doesn't really care about those small things like that. She just is solely focused on service and serving people and being selfless and kind and genuine.
Mhm. Yeah. Is there an emotion that that comes to mind or that you start to feel whenever you think about, like, the core of who you are, like, past the 'cause we can revisit the judging, but,
Mhm.
like, whenever you think about, like, the core of who you are, and if there were no walls protecting that core, what would be shining through?
Probably like just peace and joy might come to mind.
Mhm. Can you tell me more about peace?
Mm. It's like the absence of all the conflicting words, opinions, negative self-limiting beliefs kind of circling in my brain. But
Mm. Yeah. Tell me more about joy.
I truly feel lit up when I'm feeling like I'm helping people and when I'm making a difference and when I'm, yeah, just like lifting people up. And so, yeah, that's joy for me when I feel like I'm serving more of a purpose to help others.
Mm. Yeah. Why does that make you feel joyful? Why does that sense of purpose, why does it make you feel joy?
Comes to mind is like someone who, you know, values like my relationship with Christ, getting kind of religious here. Like
Mhm.
I believe that like when we serve others, it's like we're, honoring and worshiping God,
Mhm.
And so that and I believe like that's our purpose here. And so that's kind of what comes to mind. Like again, bigger sense of purpose. I'm
Mhm.
fulfilling
Yeah.
my not only my duty, that kind of sounds, it sounds a little bit drudgery, like my duty, but
Yeah.
but that's yeah, like my purpose. I don't know how to better describe it. I don't know if that answers the question,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it does. It sounds like it's like a fulfilling thing whenever
yeah,
you can live into your purpose, like your life has meaning.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. With the judgment, I wonder, like, if we were to see that judgment as something that protects the core of who you are. Like, if you're thinking about that true self, the one who's fulfilling her purpose, the one that feels, like, fulfilled in what she does and helping others. And let's say that judgment was just kinda like a guard for her, what would she be protecting?
Hmm. Think about that. I'm also not sure. I kind of just like draw a blank when I think about that.
Mhm. Would it be helpful to kind of imagine the 2 sitting with each other and
Yeah.
talking? Yeah. So if it feels helpful to close your eyes, absolutely, you don't have to. But let's kinda start with the core of who you are, that, like, truer version of you. Let's start with what she looks like. What does she look like? What does she feel like? How does she hold herself? Tell me a little bit more about her.
Um, she's confident. She stands tall and isn't perfect, but she's confident and safe with who she is and what values she brings to the world and to others. Takes care of herself.
What is she wearing?
I don't know, picturing just kind of like a sundress or, flowy,
Mhm.
pretty dress. She just looks graceful, present or like poised, graceful.
Mm. Mhm. We're gonna shift over to that, like, judgmental part of you. Tell me a little bit more about her.
She's definitely more insecure. Kind of like a dark cloud is over her a little bit. Not living in abundance, but more kind of out of the scarcity mindset.
What is she wearing?
I was gonna say like sweatpants and a t-shirt, but I'm thinking more just like normal everyday, like jeans and a t-shirt. That's normal
Mhm.
everyday.
If you were to be witnessing a conversation between the 2 of them, who would be talking first?
Probably the judgment one.
Mhm. Yeah, what is she saying?
But there's not enough. Yeah, like if other people are winning and succeeding or acting confident when they don't have much to show for it, and that's kind of, yeah, again, like hypocritical. And who are we to think that we can show up almost like pretending that we're something that we're not, like you are only justified to be truly authentic and show up confidently if you have like the numbers and the stuff to
Mm.
back it up.
Yeah. When you hear that, like, she really believes that too, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Kind of got a little emotional saying that. I'm not sure.
Where did you
Okay.
feel that? Like, where did it come up in your body?
In my head.
Mhm. And as the, like, true version of you is listening to that judgmental part of you, does she have anything that she wants to say or do?
Probably gives her a hug first.
Does that judgmental part of you let her?
Yeah. When she just reassures her that that stuff doesn't really matter. We're more motivated by service and by joy and peace that we talked about earlier. That's when that confidence and that genuine care comes.
Mhm. I wonder if we encouraged that judgmental part of you to be her authentic self just in this space here. Would she feel free to be that?
Would the judgmental me feel free to be
Mhm.
judgmental or to be?
To be whatever they want.
I think she would. Again, it's really insecure and very much in scarcity.
Mhm.
Authentic feels and scary.
Yeah. Just take a moment here if there's anything else that needs to be said between the two of them.
Higher self me would just reassure her that, it's okay. It's not a bad person, or it doesn't make her bad if she catches herself judging others, but just to kind of have that serve as a reminder that, yeah, we'll be just holding more grace for ourselves as we grow into who, we want to become.
Mm. Yeah. And just give that reminder that you can always revisit this little spot with both of them chatting with each other if they need. You can slowly bring your attention back here. It was beautiful to witness. Um, After kind of experiencing that and having those two talk to each other, is there anything that's coming up for you?
Yeah, like originally when you had said, like, what is that judgmental part of you, like trying to protect from? And I think it's probably just like feeling, yeah, just that feeling of insecurity. I think that feeling of lack. Like we haven't we haven't got there yet. So don't be acting like we have, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but that's not a good enough reason if
Mhm.
I'm more motivated by service and love and, yeah, things like I know, just gotta
Mhm.
remind myself of. It can get kinda muddy in
Mhm.
the middle.
Yeah. And I think too, like logically, we can know. Logically, we can know that, of course, we deserve to take up space, even though we don't seemingly have the results that we want. We don't have the followers that we want. We don't have the success that we want. I think it also makes a lot of sense that there's insecurity there too. Like
Mhm,
it makes a lot of sense that she's wanting to wait to be true to herself and be authentic until she has, like, evidence that she can show people.
mhm.
Because what's the risk otherwise? Like, what if she shows who she is? Or what if, like, you show who you really are? And, like, what's the biggest fear there?
So, be perceived as a fraud or
Mhm.
not genuine,
Mhm.
which I don't like to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and so if that feels so threatening, it makes so much sense that you've got that, like, judgmental part of you, like, really protecting that.
Mhm.
what is, like, one thing that we can like, maybe one action we can take or one, like, just small micro commitment to help that judgmental part of you feel safer to let the wall down a little bit?
I think just if I catch myself seeing a post or watching a story of someone and thinking who they think they are, they don't have 10K plus follower, something like that.
Mhm.
I think just like reminding myself, like, that's your insecurity talking, that's your insecurity trying to protect you. Kind of spinning it in a little bit more positive light than shame on you. Why are you
Yeah.
thinking judgmental thoughts? And I think that's probably a baby step to hopefully that will snowball effect into me feeling like I can say and show up however I want despite not having made it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost like reassuring yourself that, like, you don't have to earn the space that you take up,
Hmm.
right? Like, as human beings, we are all allowed to take up space.
Mm.
If you were to, like, lean into that invitation of taking up just a little bit more space, what ways would you do that this week?
Just showing up more, a little bit unfiltered and real. Maybe posting a story or a post that isn't as polished or talking about something I want to talk about instead of holding back because people might think I'm weird.
Yeah. Do you have an example?
um, I like to be funny, but I don't think I'm funny a lot of times.
Yeah, tell me more.
And maybe I shouldn't compare myself to others, but there are just some other people out there that I follow that are just like talk about the most random things, but it's funny because they're just
Yeah.
being themselves. And so, yeah, just not being afraid to talk. And yeah, just like talking on stories sometimes, just thinking
Yeah.
the, or going live just because, like, I'm off the cuff here. I don't have scripts to read. This
Yeah.
feels foreign. Yeah.
Mm. I wonder if, like, a nice little challenge here for you might be to like, little sprints here and there, right? Of, like, sharing something that you think is funny one day, and then the following week, sharing a couple of different things that aren't scripted for 2 days, right? And just, like, slowly kind of working your way up. Because I think that I can sense that there's this part of you that, like, is holding back, right? That is like, there's shit you wanna say. Right?
Mhm.
And maybe it doesn't always have to do with your business, or maybe it always doesn't have to do with the work that you do as a coach. Um, but there are things on your mind that you wanna say, and maybe even just, like, giving yourself permission to say them one time, and then we don't have to do it again for a week, and then maybe 2 times, then we won't have to do it again for a week. Like, how would that feel to challenge yourself to do that?
I think good, but then it goes back to the other thing of 'cause I brought up, like, 3 things in the beginning, like, sometimes not even knowing what to say, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
then there's, like, the part of me that's like, there is a lot to say, but how do we say it?" Or what I guess, yeah, like, what do we say?
Maybe and yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, with, like, not like, what you were saying earlier about not knowing what even to share,
Mhm,
and I wonder if we need to give your voice, like, a safer space to say what you need to say without the pressure of having everybody look at it or having everybody react to it,
mhm,
and so, like, one of the exercises that I do a lot with my clients is either voice note journaling or video journaling,
yeah,
and these are just, like, private little 5-minute clips or voice notes to themselves that they don't have to share with anybody, that they don't, they don't have to, they're super private,
mhm,
and you can delete them if you want, but getting in the habit of doing that daily and just, like, practicing saying what you wanna say, or like, even if you open your voice memo up and you're like, "I have no idea what's on my mind right now," and that's super frustrating. And just getting into that
yeah.
practice, so, like, would that feel more, like, in alignment with where you're wanting to go with, like, using your voice a little bit more and showing up?
Yeah, what's funny is I remember you actually gave this exact same, advice to me, I think, when you subbed on one of our mentorship calls, and I remember thinking that same thing,
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm not," like, what would I do?" So I think I did it for a few days, and, like, literally, they all started out with, "I don't know what I'm gonna say." at all.
Yeah.
But
And that may be
yeah.
the first 2 weeks of those, right? I have no idea. This is so uncomfortable. Why am I even doing this? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so probably a sign I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else on your heart? Like, anything, any big takeaways that you're walking away with today?
Well, I think one that, like, I don't have to go full send all at once. Like,
Mm,
I think you use the term, like, titrate. I can
mhm. Yeah.
titrate a bit. And yeah, I just always love how you spin it of like that shadow side is always there's always some sort of like hidden positive motive, like
Mhm.
there's a hidden motive behind it all that yeah, just does have those positive intentions, just comes at it from a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
bit
like, that
different.
judgmental part of you is not trying to ruin your life.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's just always a good exercise to do to really sit with sit with yourself and realize that I'm not all terrible.
Yeah. And, like, I think that's also the beauty of being human, like, we are so multifaceted, and there are so many different parts of us, and some of them feel a little bit too raw to share, and, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that there are these things that we do to, like, protect ourselves from being judged, protect ourselves from being misunderstood. Um,
Mm,
and I think that, like, the first step to moving through that block is to, like, do what you did here and name it, you know?
yeah.
Awesome.
Mm, thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for offering this opportunity. Hopefully someone else is feeling a little bit less judgmental of themselves for being judgmental.
Yeah. All right. I really hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Um, yeah, it was such a powerful space to hold for Jessica. And I always really love supporting people with not just the visibility strategy piece, but also that deep underlying parts work, somatic work, like that deeper place that I think a lot of people are afraid to go because there is that risk of like getting emotional or activating something and feeling overwhelmed. And this is just an encouragement for all of you that like, if you are feeling a block with being visible, with being authentic, with showing your real self to your audience, to the people in your world, like, yes, there's always some kind of strategy that we can tweak. And in safe spaces, it is okay to acknowledge those deeper blocks. It's safe for those things to come up. And if you don't have a safe space to land whenever those deeper things come up, I would love to connect with you, even if it's just to join my Facebook group or follow this podcast or whatever it is. You deserve to have a safe space to process some of those blocks in a way that doesn't always have to end with you doing something or you changing a strategy or any of that. Like, you just deserve a space where you can process and be heard and have those feelings, have those blocks validated because it makes a lot of sense why so many of us are afraid to be who we are, especially in our marketing, especially as we are promoting our businesses. So, just sending you lots of love, lots of encouragement here. And if this is the kind of support that you are needing, my next round of Vibrant Visibility opens in September. The waitlist is open right now. I will put the link for that in the show notes for you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you later. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If this was helpful for you, subscribe to the show to make sure you're always in the loop when a new episode is out. And I would love to invite you to join me in the free Visibility and Tech Support for Coaches community, where we hang out and chat about all things visibility, tech, systems, and heart-centered business building. I regularly share tips and tutorials and go live every now and then, and it's just nice to be in a community with other like-minded coaches and healers. So you can join this free space at alignwellco.com/community, and I can't wait to see you there.